Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Hashtag Draw This in Your Style, where I take your art and draw it in my style, but this time we're going to be using washi tape. So let's get into it. So the first piece we are going to be recreating with washi tape is going to be by, now please excuse my screen name pronunciations in this video, but I don't know how to say this. Maybe Isabel Grace? But with V's instead of A's? Anyways, I thought, aside from this piece just being visually very interesting, I actually thought it was sort of similar to things I draw. I really like to incorporate these silly, black, blobby, shadowy creatures in a lot of my artwork, whether it's people or animals or just creatures and ghosts. It's something I like to include here and there, so I really liked this character for that, but also I really wanted to start off this video with something to warm up. Something a little bit more simple, less detail, and this black blob of a creature was definitely going to be perfect. However, when I thought this was going to be a simple one to start off with, I didn't take into account all of the small details when it came to the leaf, all of the texture inside of this creature's body, the little plants growing inside of him. Now, when I say detailed, of course, when it comes to these washi tape illustrations, I really need to keep things simple because cutting out small pieces is not my forte. It takes a lot of patience. In fact, I created a couple of these pieces live on my Twitch and I was able to chat with some of you guys, and a lot of you guys were surprised with how much time it takes to cut out all of the pieces and stick them on and struggle with the tape sticking to things. And yeah, these pieces took a little bit longer than I anticipated, which is why I normally like to keep to more simple designs with washi tape, which overall this illustration was perfect for, and I really enjoyed the process, especially when translating into my style. So of course we do have this black blobby creature, but I do think it's really fun to just look at the shape of the head that I make, the hands, the arms, especially the eyes. I really like to make silly, goofy eyes that are very close together. But also when it comes to these washi tape illustrations, not only are we looking at my own personal art style when it comes to style, but when working with washi tape, I really had to look at my color palette and think about what I'm going to use and plan out my colors beforehand. I have a lot of washi tape, but I also only have so many colors, so I really have to think about what's going to go where, what matches the best. And I loved the earthy colors on the original piece by Isabel, but my colors are, even though they're quite earthy, they're very bright in comparison, so my piece turned out a little bit brighter. But in the end, I had a lot of fun with this piece. It's simple yet complicated. I love illustrations where there are simple spots, but also a lot of details here and there. So definitely a fun warm-up, definitely fun to put into washi tape. So thank you so much to Isabel for submitting, and I hope you like it. Moving on to our second piece, we have _no-hugs-please_ on Instagram. And when I saw this piece on Instagram, I thought this would be a really simple and fun piece to recreate, especially after the first piece. So this is actually the last piece that I penciled beforehand. When it comes to washi tape, even though the washi tape does have a little bit of transparency to it, a lot of the colors you just can't see the pencil marks under it. And if you can see the pencil marks under it, you end up seeing the pencil marks under it when you're done cutting it. So either I can't follow the pencil marks because the tape is too dark, or I get this ghosting of pencils under the tape that I don't want. So my process with these washi tape pieces definitely changes as I move throughout the video, and I've realized that washi tape is a very fun, shapely way to work, and I think it would actually be more fun if I just didn't sketch the drawing beforehand. So this is the last piece that I do that with, because you do see all the pencil marks underneath, and I'm just not very happy with that look. But something I am happy with this piece is the translation from a digital illustration to washi tape. And because, like I said, washi tape does have this tendency to be transparent, I did really want to embrace that with this piece, and I made her hair sort of transparent with the red triangle behind it, which I did flip just to fill in the space on the paper a little bit. And like I mentioned before, the color selection I have with my washi tape isn't the most diverse, so the shading got a little bit wonky. I used purple for shading on her skin and her hair here and there. It is a little weird weird, it's a little strange, but it does have this sort of playful colorfulness to it. And even though I really do like the stylization of this piece and I had a lot of fun working with it, there is one issue that I found when working with washi tape on this piece. There was just a lack of contrast, basically. The pastel colors between her skin, her hair, the white of the skull, and even the hat. I think the only dark parts of this illustration are the red triangle in the background and then the few black pieces that I used, like on her eye, her mouth, earring. Other than that, I find that her skin and her hair really blended together in this piece, and I think that going forward with my washi pieces, I really needed to look for contrast. At one point, I was very tempted to cut out the thinnest black pieces of tape to line some of the areas that needed, I guess, separation with contrast. But oh my gosh, have you ever cut out thin pieces of tape and tried to line with them? Would not recommend. In the end, I tried to add some texture to the hat just to add some darkness, and even though this one turned out really cute and I love the original illustration, the washi tape was proving to have its struggles, so definitely something I needed to look into. All of that being said, no hugs please. I hope you like my recreation. Hopefully I did it a little bit of justice. Piece, I thought it was time we tackled a full background illustrated piece. This sleeping mer-boy is by Deniz Turk Art on Twitter. I was really drawn to how colorful this piece was, the bright blues and the complementary oranges and yellows. Full background pieces are very intimidating when it comes to washi tape. Obviously, there's a lot of coverage, there's a lot of cutting, there's a lot of detail, but this piece looked like a lot of fun. Starting off, I wanted to go into this piece with my fun sort of border styled illustration. So I have this blue block of color with white of the page around it, and then I cut some of the plants on the sides. I had so much fun cutting out the red corally sort of plant. I also used a textured tape because I wanted to add just a little bit of more fun textury patterns to it, really embrace that washi tape. And even though this one was taking a lot of time because obviously it was a full background, I was having a lot of fun putting all of the different elements of this piece together, the different kinds of plants, cutting out all of the little fish. In fact, I was really enjoying just how different the process of creating each three of the plants was in this piece. We started off with those big leafy blue pieces, and then the sort of tall leafy seaweedy bits in the background, cutting a really long strip and then adding all of the little leaves. Something about that was just kind of therapeutic. Loved it. Having a variety of plants in your illustrations can definitely liven it up, and it's just really fun and I enjoy it. For the tail of the mermaid, I kind of approached it a little bit differently than in the original illustration. I have this gradiented washi tape from the dollar store in Japan, and I thought it would be perfect. The tail of the mermaid is a little bit different colored here and there, and I thought just to embrace that, and also to create some separation between the color of the body of the mermaid and the tail, I created the top of the tail to be that purpley red color and had it gradient down to yellow so that the yellow of the hair and the yellowish body wouldn't blend too much into the tail. And of course, going from there, I had no pencil, no guides or anything to sort of cut from. Like I mentioned, it can be really difficult to work from a sketch when it comes to washi tape, especially when you're working on top of tape that's already on the paper. So I was very thankful that the pose was a little bit more on the simple side. It translated very well into washi tape. I had so much fun creating the face, the hair. I think this one turned out really fun. It's colorful, and you can definitely see the resemblance between the two pieces. So again, thank you so much to Deniz Turk Art. I hope you like this recreation. When I saw this piece by Lexarnus, I thought that is very detailed and I could never recreate that with washi tape. And then I realized the whole point isn't to recreate it pixel by pixel with washi tape, but to instead translate it into my style using washi tape. After the intimidation wore away, I thought this piece would actually be Super fun and perfect to recreate into washi tape, and I was already thinking about the ways I would texturize the beard, layer the washi tape, have fun with it, and I was super excited to make this piece, and I think it's actually my favorite one out of this video. So really embracing the whole not sketching out the character and just really exaggerating the shapes, I just jumped into this character by placing down some color and started to cut away the face shape. It was a little wonky at first, and this piece definitely looks a little rough before it starts to, I guess, come together a little bit better, but that's the process of art, right? The more I play with washi tape, the more I really want to embrace the silly, fun, expressive, and loose style you can get. So especially when it comes to not sketching out the piece, you're just kind of winging it and seeing where it goes. So even though I was excited to work on this piece, I was also very intimidated by the amount of detail that I was going to have to put in to better represent this character. Starting off with all of the plants in the hat, there was just a lot of cutting out little slivers of tape and layering it to create a bush, and then creating a fluffy bush next to it and the mushrooms. All small details, but very much worth the effort. The star of the show obviously is going to be the beard on this character. Now, I don't know who this character is, or if it's a celebrity, or if it's just someone that this person knows. They somehow look familiar to me. So let me know in the comments, is this somebody? I have no idea. Either way, it's a very fun and colorful piece. It's very interesting. And like I said, recreating the beard and layering the tape was the most fun. I cut out strips of washi tape and just created this sort of bubbly, bumpy texture around it and layered it enough to where it just looked like plants and puffy moss on the guy's face. In fact, I thought I was going to have to layer a lot more than I actually ended up doing. I think a little bit goes a long way when it comes to washi tape, especially if you can cut out some vines with leaves. I really liked adding that to it. Once I had some extra details in there that weren't just the puffy strips of moss, it came together so well, and I was absolutely happy with this piece, especially the colors. I love that sap green tape I have. Also, if you didn't notice, I was going through quite a crisis with the face. I was adding pieces, removing pieces, changing pieces, shuffling them around, and I think I eventually got to a face that's very fun and silly and playful. After the beard was done, I added some details like spots to the mushroom and his glasses, and there you go. There is our grassy beard guy. So thank you again, Lex Arnis, for letting me recreate your very detailed and impressive piece. It was so much fun to simplify and recreate in such a different style. And finally, last but not least, we are going to be recreating this unicorn turkey by Pepper. A unicorn combined with a turkey. I mean, how could I say no to recreating this piece? Now, when it comes to recreating this piece, I actually took a few artistic liberties. In the original piece, we have a sort of straight on view of this unicorn, and I wanted to look at the rest of the body of this character. I'm not sure what Pepper originally had in mind, but I imagined some weird looking unicorn that is combined with a turkey, obviously. But instead of having 4 legs like you would think a unicorn would have, I just went with the back of a turkey combined with the front of a horse, but also combined with the turkey. And I had to make this character. This piece is probably the most well translated into washi tape. It's very simple, but also very colorful and fun. I think the shapes were really fun to exaggerate, and it all just kind of came together so well. So again, following the no sketch rule, I just kind of put some tape down and cut away some very fun exaggerated shapes. We started off with this base body shape, and from there I would add things like the beak and some small details, adding on the legs. It was really fun adding little striped details to the legs and the horn. I think little lines and textures like that can really add a lot to a simple character or a simple piece like this. In fact, it kind of looks like the unicorn turkey's wearing striped socks. It's just supposed to be some weird a textured detail to a turkey leg. The colors on this piece were also very fun. Even though the original unicorn turkey is white, because I'm working on white paper, I made it a light gray just so that you could see the character. I really had fun translating the tail. So at the very bottom we have the pink and the purple. So I sort of translated that as the unicorn turkey's tail. And even though looking at the front view of this unicorn turkey, I kind of imagined the red, the orange, and the yellow feathers as more of like a mane, kind of like if you took the really bushy tail of a turkey and put it on its neck. But I really wasn't sure how to put that in washi tape form, so I just went ahead and made that its feathery mane, which is still very interesting. And there is our unicorn turkey. This character was so much fun to work with, so thank you so much, Pepper. I hope you like my translation of your unicorn turkey into washi tape, and that is that. And that is it for another episode of Draw This in Your Style. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted, and I'm so sorry I could only draw 5. There were so many good pieces that I wanted to recreate, but I'm only one person. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, stay golden. But of course, I have to give a huge thank you to my patrons for all their support. You guys are seriously the best. If you want early access to my videos, secret sketches, works in progress, and more, check out my Patreon by clicking the link in the description. Thank you guys all seriously so much for the support. Bye.